authentic frontier gibberish.
It's mind-boggling to you, yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
The Bad Boys!
If I can be serious for a minute.
Punch some people in the face.
Copulating with wild women.
Might need to tone it down just.
Tone down what?
Oh, that's a good question.
Because we are class.
I don't even know who you are.
And you are trash.
Ladies and gentlemen, it has been a very long, hard week, and things got away from us. But when that happens, we get a little bit mid. Hutch Henries here from Demand Lucha, and I am joined with my Productions partner. If this was a multiverse in another universe like 369, got to get a 69 in there. He'd probably be managing like a Russian-owned resort in southern Camagüey, Cuba, or something. But in this reality, he is the Prince of Paradise. He is the one and only Boris Aguilar. How you doing, bud?
I am doing fantastic. It has been, like you said, a week got away from us, but here we are talking midweek here on the mid. It's going to be a good time. I'm doing good, man. Really good. Off of work, so have time to, watch wrestling.
See, the opposite for me. I got a lot put on my plate this week, but it was your birthday. You're allowed to get a little bit like you're like, I got a little too crazy. And
to be fair, it wasn't really that crazy of a birthday. I kind of wanted to just spend it with some friends I haven't seen in a while, family that I haven't seen in a while, that kind of stuff. And it was good. It was a lot of fun, good times. Here we are, chatting wrestling.
Yeah, dude, I've had lots of Lucha.
At the end of November.
We've had Lucha shows in Oshawa, Toronto. We're doubling it up. We did the Tequila Expo over there, absolutely massive. And then coming up, back-to-back, Christmas Lucha, a very merry Lucha Christmas. We got Oshawa at the Biltmore Theater, which will be pretty nuts. And then we follow right into the final show of the year, where the interim champion, Gringo Loco, is going to be putting it all on the line in a massive, I think, four-way, perhaps elimination match. And we're gonna crown the top guy, because Arez is injured. He'll come back next year, and we'll do an amalgamation of sorts. But for now, we're gonna crown a top guy again.
That's awesome. That's really cool. That's awesome. That's really cool, man. You're busy. We're all busy. You know what? I want to kick things off with something a little. As you mentioned, Lucha, thought of this on the side, and that's kind of like the WWE TKO influence of AAA. Earlier this week, it was announced that AAA has signed a TV deal for Latin America. They're going to be on Fox. Fox is, except for Brazil, every other country in Central, South America, and North America, I guess Mexico, they are going to be on Fox. So they are getting that exposure, that TKO rub.
That's pretty awesome, man. Yeah, and they're basically majority controlled by WWE and TKO now. So this is another entity of theirs, and that's how you want to get into those Latin markets. That's how you want to. You don't want to. They've already made the mistake, right, of trying to make their NXT brands. I could almost see it's a bad taste in your mouth. Like if I was from Antigua or someplace and they had NXT Antigua, I'd be like, well, but okay, so you're bringing your lower tier scene here, and you're like, yeah, we're gonna come in and give you a little, there's a part of me that might be like, what the hell, why are we getting an NXT? Why are you taking away my local scene to create your little NXT thing? And it makes sense, my local scene is on that level, but some people have a chip on their shoulder.
It's that mental thing, right? I just remember this whole thing in Beyond the Mat, that documentary, when they said, don't tell these guys that this isn't major, right? Don't tell these guys that it's the minor leagues, right? You can't, especially in wrestling, you cannot do that. What's interesting though is that it's the same mentality of having NXT Mexico or whatever, except they're using the AAA brand with it. Really looking forward to their next. Go ahead.
It has lineage, it has respect. You're using existing wrestlers that are there. Obviously, it's a completely different product. The same way that our current TKO product is drastically different. You peel back, every time you peel back a layer, you want to go back 5 years, a decade, 15 years, wow, things have changed. But this is the way to do it. They were talking about NXT Japan, but the idea that Japan, they're now only, 6-7 years into their new dynasty. They've got mass immigration. They've got birth rates low. They've got economic problems. Wrestling is suffering. The idea that they come in and buy and or work with New Japan is way more palatable than running in and taking over with your brand.
Exactly. And look at what happened to the UK scene, right? Like it was decimated, essentially, to say the least. What's interesting, though, is I've noticed this watching some of these AAA shows. When WWE airs, and I love how, by the way, complete side note, I love how WWE just randomly decided to air Saturday's show at the same time of Full Gear. That was kind of funny. But what I've noticed is this. AAA is kind of like this Jekyll and Hyde type of thing going on. You have all of the shows that aren't aired in WWE's official channels, which they still feel like AAA. Yeah, you might get, El Gran Americano. You might get Dominic, obviously. Hopefully you get Dominic, considering he's the mega champion. But you get that WWE TKO influence, right? With those big shows that are aired on the official WWE channels. And then you got, dare I say, more house shows that feel more like the AAA shows. Mm-hmm. So it's like this Jekyll and Hyde situation.
Still doing those house shows, which is great, because if you take a look, and I mean the show that just happened this last weekend, I mean I can't believe how over Grande Americano is. Like he's never coming back. He's got a new woman. He's like more over than he's ever been. He gets to flex. I mean the guy he's like a pure Cesaro, right? He speaks all the languages. He's a powerhouse. He's tall. He can do the lucha stuff, but he can do, and his name, Grande Americano, like the big American, like to them, right? I still remember the interview they did with Eddie Guerrero's daughter, and they were like, so what do you think of your dad, Latino Heat? She's like, what does that mean to you? The interviewer lady, and she was like, boy heat. And like with no emotion, she was like, it's boy heat. So like to them, it's the big American, and he is big. Chad Gable was small, so it's like, it's great. I love it. I love all of it. Yeah. I'm in a positive mood. I'm putting everything over today, Boris. I have so much to put over. There's a couple things to shit on, but there's so much to put over.
Yeah, so the next big show for AAA is Guerra de Titanes 2025, December 20th, happening on all of the WWE YouTubes. Now, the main event might be a little changed, because we were supposed to see the reunion of the Lucha brothers taking on Dominic and El Gran Americano, but I have a feeling that match might not happen.
I don't know. Has there been any updates? It was just a popped out shoulder. He tried to pop it back in. Updates?
Outside of his Instagram message last night, basically saying, I got injured. Kudos to my opponent. I'll be back stronger than ever. Outside of that, there's been no official word. Word.
Sometimes these really depends. I mean, Sanjay Dutt has like popped a shoulder back in and continued to match and come out, and like the swelling, the pain, it's not good. And we're talking, there's always going to be like torn ligaments to a degree when this kind of thing happens, especially if it's the first time. And when that kind of thing happens, then it becomes a reoccurring injury, a la Randy Orton in a lot of ways. But he might be back a lot sooner than we think. Especially like, hey, this match in Mexico is a big deal. We've put it over. Go recover. And when's that supposed to happen? 2 weeks, 3 weeks? How much time does he have?
About a month. It's about a month.
All right, you're not going to see Penta for a month, and then he's probably going to show up. If from what I heard was just a popped out shoulder. He tried to pop it back in himself. Docs were like, no, which and it doesn't seem like there's any breaks. It doesn't seem like there's any like muscle, like heavy duty muscle tears or anything. So he should be back after some recovery. They're going to deal with swelling, with some physio, and he's going to come back and be like, yo, Zero Muerto, baby, wham.
What's crazy is this is the second person out of that last time is now tournament because of a pop shoulder. Sheamus last week was taken out because of a bad shoulder. Penta now gone because of a bad shoulder. Man, seems to be like the curse of the bad shoulder tournament.
Yeah, and Solo gonna go against Gunther, heel on heel, where they supposedly that was supposed to be the winner anyway, so this was the original plan, so nothing got screwed up. But I think like on one of the video games, when you book heels against each other in your GM mode, doesn't like Triple H or somebody come up and like admonish you? They're like, oh, don't remember.
Yeah, he's like,
what are you guys doing, man? But hey,
Sting with some Lucha Libre. It was announced yesterday that the CMLL World Heavyweight Championship is going to be decided this Friday as Claudio Castagnoli goes to Arena Mexico and faces Gran Guerrero.
Wow, that should be fun. This would be great for Claudio to get. This would be a big get. So their middleweight and their like 6-man trios titles, they're a big deal. The heavyweight title is not as big a deal down there.
Exactly.
So it's like the opposite. That's why they didn't win in the opening scrum that bled into Full Gear. I was a little skeptical as to whether or not they were going to win. Outside of like Wrestle and Romance, where they had a big connection to CMLL and Mexico, there have not been many successful trios or six-man titles in Japan that have had a lot of attention. You know, we can talk about Yo and his freak out recently if we want.
Yeah.
But, you know, and no matter where you go, America, it's just has never really flown. Only Mexico seems to give it its due. So I'm not surprised they didn't win there. And Claudio getting this belt would be good. I can see Claudio like holding this, having fun, especially as part of the partnership. You know, because he's a beast. Especially like he looked so good in my favorite match of the weekend, which was the Gauntlet. Like not the best Gauntlet ever, but somehow like my favorite match ever.
Those gauntlets are fun. They're, you know what it is? There were spots. It was good wrestling, and there were funny spots. It was overall entertaining, right? Like they did a good job of keeping you on the edge of your seat, especially because like they're running a lot of these types of gauntlets. It's the same match over and over that we're seeing, but they were able to give us some different stuff. We'll talk about AEW Full Gear in a little bit. Let us talk about WWE Raw. It happened.
What do you want to talk about? So, guys, what do you want to talk about?
We could talk about the War Games match that's happening this weekend. At the very end of the show, we'll preview Survivor Series. But yeah,
well, let's you know what? Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the opening segment. I think if I recall, you know, I don't have notes for Raw, but I did watch it. So, I mean, Roman came out, and if I recall, Cody came out, and there was it was almost like light, like, how can I trust you kind of stuff. And then, you know, he gave his reasons, the Usos and blah, blah. And it seemed like Cody was just like, okay, cool. and then CM Punk came out. And I think CM Punk is trying to get over a line. I'm trying to figure out what it is now. But Roman has his stuff, and CM Punk is like, it's a great day to be alive in the city of something. Like what happened to CM Punk? Like he's so cheery now. It's so weird, you know? And then Roman dropping that'll look good on my shoulder. Everybody's talking about, wow, that was deep. It's kind of like a modern Suffer and Succotash to me. It was a bit weird. Like these guys, they all seem like such weird played out characters, you know, like do all three of them have veneers? Like, are these real people? I got to check if Punk has veneers. Like, who are these people? Like, what happened to CM Punk? It is like the name just doesn't fit anymore. He's like ruined the word. It's like all the like leftist buzzwords that don't mean as much. And now Punk means nothing.
Corporate Montgomery Punk now. It's
yes. Not. In my video where I was like, CM stands for corporate management now.
There we go. But
they started with that.
We started that, and then that was the buildup. That was the biggest story of the week was kind of the advantage. Who's going to get the advantage?
It's pretty epic in a lot of ways. You know, if I'm a WWE mark, if I'm a 13-year-old, if I'm whatever, if I'm that guy, like this is Cody Rhodes, WWE champ. This is CM Punk, world champ. This is Roman Reigns. The Usos are the most dominant champions of all that. Like whatever. This is a hell of a match, a hell of a lineup, and they're going against like the ultimate like Legion of Doom. They're on your chest, like except like the comics Legion of Doom. Like they're gonna come out of their freaking dome, like Brock Lesnar
out of the swamp.
Yeah, we'll talk about Lesnar in a second, but one hell of a team they're up against, like Drew McIntyre. God, I really hope. Oh, too bad the pandemic. Of everything the pandemic screwed up, how often I'm just like, fuck McIntyre. Like even my own life, like screw me, screw everything. Drew McIntyre got the worst end of the stick out of everybody in the entire world out of the pandemic. But all right, anyways. 2025, is this Brock Lesnar's year or what? Like the allegations, ripping his pants when he comes back. Now he's like slipping and sliding around, but somehow he's still untouchable. Like he just laughs everything off. Like he's amazing.
I don't get it. I really don't understand it, but there's a certain aura around him, and then
he's
I don't get it.
He's other human. He's just like living in Saskatchewan, just like eating like raw flesh. Like, you know, they go, oh, he likes to hunt, and I'm like, what kind of guns? They're like, oh, no, he doesn't have guns. He's just like axes and like claws and shit. Like, you know, like.
Have you seen him? The videos of him being a butcher, like cutting.
I was gonna say,
fucking, like,
okay. I thought you were gonna say something that had to do with hunting, but I'm like, in my mind, I was thinking like, it's amazing how quick the mind works. You're like, have you seen? And I was like, all I've seen is the meat ones. And then you're like, I'm like, oh yes, the meat ones, dude. Okay, I don't know. Is this appropriate for me to leave? Okay, one second.
So this is.
Wait, I'm almost there. I'm almost back. Here we go. These guys sponsored us last year, and Jody Threat would do anything. I've given more of this to Jody Threat than anybody. Brock Lesnar blend steak spice. Bro,
Dude,
this shit is awesome. They gave they freaking. Did you just zoom in on me? What happened there?
That was you.
I didn't do that shit. I didn't do anything. Whoa, it's zooming back again. Like auto zoom on or something. Whoa. Okay, awesome. Anyways, Brock Lesnar.
Okay, that
blend.
was like that was the ultimate Wayne's World, like extreme close up.
Yeah, whoa. I did not do that, bro. Anyway, yeah, they sponsored us for all. So I basically got some. I loved it, and I was like, hey, I love this stuff. I'm buying a couple. Like, and I told them, you mind if I talk about it or give a few away, bro? They sent us like 3 cases. So I had 20. I had 30. Man, I had 3 cases of a dozen. I kept the case for myself, not intentionally. Just I was like, once I started using it, I was like, this is my last one. My God. I gave a bunch of Jody Threat, and then we gave a ton away and like giveaways and things. It was pretty fun. I'm sure they would give me more. I should probably get more. Anyways, you want to talk about meat and Brock Lesnar? I'm all into it. But wait, man, what a beast of a human being. And like, has he ever, okay, other than the concussion, you know, like Penta just got injured. We were just talking about the injury of Penta. We talked about Sheamus just got injured. Everybody. Has Brock Lesnar ever been injured, like in the? I don't think in the ring. He's
outside of WrestleMania doing the shooting star press.
Yeah,
I don't think he's ever really gotten injured. You know what? His body has failed him more than anything else when he had the
yeah, and I mean that was a spot, WrestleMania, right? Like throwing him into the desk and being like, oh my diverticulitis, you know, and then Triple H beat him. I think, if I recall, I don't rewatch a lot of stuff, but if I recall, he used the diverticulitis and the announce desk to like move into the finishing spot of like, you know, taking down the beast. And now we all know more about it. When he came out with it, it was all like, he's got what? Diver what? But now Kenny's had it. A few other people have had it.
I've had it.
It's become more worst. Yeah, in the public, you know, domain in people's minds. So you go back and watch that now, you're like, whoa, this is a big deal. But yeah, that's kind of fun. But I don't think he's ever been injured, you know. And that shooting star press, like they kind of forced him to do it. He didn't really want to do it anymore, unless I'm wrong. Was he? Did they not want him to do it? And he's like,
he was the one who wanted. They
opposite.
said don't do it.
And he wanted to. Okay, I knew it was something like that. All right, well then he's learned his lesson. But it's too bad because the ones that he's pulled off in the past, bro, like he has a shooting star unlike anybody else. You ever used to watch Thundercats? Remember, the later seasons with the Lunatics, and they had, and the little one with the whip that had and you know, and he walked around on his fist, just this like beast that she rode around on. Dude, Brock Lesnar does his thing, tucks and rolls, and then like just gets in position like a sphinx, and then just lands on guys like wham, and then like stays there. Like some of his best ones are like monstrously cool, but that one was not. Yeah. But I don't think he's ever been injured. He's injured others. He fucked up Big Show's arm that one time, but that's just like, it's not like he injured him. That was just like, you know, he's safe. He sells like a maniac. He's the best.
If he likes you.
This whole thing to be about Brock Lesnar today.
No.
What was that?
Let's move on. Let's move on.
But yeah, that's the team.
So Survivor Series.
It's a hell of a team.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I think it'll be good. We'll talk about Survivor Series in a moment. There. What else happened on? I'm trying to remember.
We had both matches.
Carmelo Hayes and Gunther was good. I like that match a lot, actually.
I like that they teased the count out. And like knowing WWE, I knew it wasn't going to happen because it was 9 count and he's right there by the ring. They can always slide in, right? Most count outs, they have him farther away from the ring and like clambering, like, trying to get in, right? So you knew it was going to happen. I'm always waiting for that time where the guy doesn't get in, like slips or something happens, right? When they try and get it to that last second and they're like, you're like, Brock Lesnar just slipped. You know, it happens. There's sweat everywhere. When we don't put out mats at Parkdale Hall specifically, especially as he gets into the winter months, or Jody Threat, who uses beer in so many spots, like things get wet, and then you have a guy come out, run around the ring, and so we have mats now, right? We can't have padded mats because, you know, this is indie wrestling. Guys need to get hurt, right? Come on. But we don't want them slipping. We want them to get hurt like with intention. I'm going to dive on you and then fuck myself up because I landed wrong. Not slip and fall. That's embarrassing.
Yep, exactly. Anyways. That's the unfortunate part. So yeah, that was Raw. Raw was pretty good. I enjoyed it. Good. Yeah. Pretty good go home. Pretty good go home for Raw. Again, we'll talk about Survivor Series at the very end of the show. That's how we'll wrap things up.
Wait a second.
Yeah, wait.
Are we going away from Raw? Because there's one more thing I want to talk about with Raw.
Okay, go ahead.
Becky Lynch is the shit.
How did I forget
all
about
of that shit was awesome. Becky Lynch is the shit. I don't want to talk too much more. I think we'll just wrap it with a nice bow that Becky Lynch is the shit. Go do whatever you were going to do.
All right. No, so last night we had NXT. NXT had Gold Rush night number 2. Biggest surprise there is we have a new TNA Knockouts champion as Li Ying Lee beat Kalani Jordan and Jordan Grace to win the TNA Knockouts championship.
How old is Jordan Grace? She's not that old.
She's not that old.
Yeah, she's a little bit older than some of these gals, but she's not that old. But the body transformation, the bodybuilding lifestyle, the discipline that she has in so many ways, man, when she stands next to some of these girls, like she looks crazy. She looks like intensely like different. Let's just put it that way. And I sometimes wonder, and hopefully it's good. There's some horror stories in that world, right? So I hope she doesn't sacrifice too much. I hope she has a healthy, long life. I'd like to see her have children and things like that. But I was surprised to see them beat what's her face. Like I feel like they've been trying to keep the title on her to, yeah. Like sorry, these names sometimes they get away from me with NXT. I thought they were gonna try and give her like some stank for a while, like maybe give her a long reign and give her some reason for us to care. They seem to want to do something with her, even though they like let her go and she's over there now. Like I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I felt like
Jordan's still with WWE. She was never. Is that it? So
she was an NXT person that was over there. So which is the one that they let go and then immediately was on TNA, but then they started the partnership. Like, there's a few like that, right?
Jackson. Yeah.
All right. See that, man, I like the 18 months or so that I stopped watching. I guess it's a lie. It's a lie. It was longer than that. It was from like good couple of months into the 2.0 until just recently I stopped watching NXT. I was one of those people. I didn't mean to give up. I just did. I have a life. But yeah, it's really thrown me for a loop with these girls. I'll tell you, I'm sorry.
It happens. We have somewhat of a card now for Deadline coming up, including the 2 Iron Survivor Challenge matches. Real quick, on the men's side, we have Javon Evans, Leon Slater, Joe Hendry, Dion Lennox, and Miles Bourne.
The Iron Survivor. I like that they did something. Like, and now it's kind of over. This match isn't too bad. These like penalty box matches and like shark cage matches, they all had a real like WCW stink to them for a long time. Mm-hmm. And not even like JCP, like I feel like the Skywalker matches and things like that, they had their VHS tapes they released and they did them on tours and things. And, they're a bit eye-rolly. But when it got into the Turner years, the early WCW, changeover years, any of that stuff was always just so bad. And it had that stank on it for a while. So I like that Shawn Michaels brought back some sort of penalty box match, and it's kind of over. I don't mind it. It's good.
Yeah. On the women's side, we have Sol Ruka, Lola Vice, Kalani Jordan, Jordan Grace, and Kendall Gray. Kendall Gray is really making quite the mark in NXT right now.
She's got it. She's got that like something about her, man. Like you can tell, like her size, her proportions, her face, her delivery. Like she's young, she's sharp. There's something about her. She's like, I don't know if I've never spoken to her. She could have like, maybe she's an old soul, but yeah, I don't know.
Got something. As the Spanish say, yo no sé qué.
Like we're not on the radio, right? It's like, right. Like there's a lot of like good looking ladies on NXT and on wrestling or whatnot. And then she's on the screen and she's talking and you're looking at her and you're like, oh, I want to you. Oh yeah. You know what I mean? Like the rest of them, you're kind of like, okay, sometimes whatever. I'm sure everybody has their flavors, but there's just so many of them and it's not, I don't care. And then she's talking and I'm like, yeah. So she's got that energy. I mean, I'm trying to just put a point on it, right? I'm not trying to be crass, but like, she got it.
I don't know
like,
what.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know what. Then we have Ricky Saints and Obafemi. So we have 3 matches so far announced. That is happening next Saturday, December the 6th.
Yeah, dude, Obafemi's so big. Bro, like, did he get bigger? Like, he came back.
Seems it. It honestly seems like he did.
Did Ricky Starks get smaller?
No.
Saints get smaller?
Beside other bigger wrestlers, now you're seeing how small he actually is.
Yeah, man. He's hopefully he's got a future, man. And unfortunately, that's not his actual voice. Like, it's like somehow this is a Vince McMahonism. Like, and it's really over. We all love it, right? Characters. There's nothing wrong with characters. Like the modern age of like sensitivity, I don't know, I don't want to put any kind of political spin on it, but people have been a little more, everybody's worried about everybody else's feelings to the point that we've lost a lot of fun. And like sometimes accents are fun, but that's not his real voice. And I'm hoping that a long career doesn't elude him or doesn't come back to bite him. Hopefully hopefully it's great because it's great. It's awesome. But I only recently found out he actually doesn't speak like that, like about 8 months ago or so, like this year at some point early in the year. I was like, oh shit. So other people I think knew that all the time.
Anything else you want to talk about WWE before we flip the page, as they say, to AEW?
Geez, no, I think we're good right now. Survivor Series is certainly going to be fun, but it's more of the same. Like after we're about to talk about AEW, will blood, will tax, will anything matter at Survivor Series, or are they going to be able to pull it back? After all we saw at Full Gear, is WWE gonna like? Are we at the end of it all? Are we going to be like, that was the best match of this month? Like, are they going to be able to pull it off with one of these 2 War Games matches? We'll see. Because AEW gave us a whole lot of War Games.
Yeah, they did. All the War Games.
They were in Full Gear.
AEW. What do you want to talk about? Full Gear or Continental Classic? Where do you want to start?
Let's start off with Full Gear. Let's go for it, man.
All right. We'll talk
go in
about
order.
AEW. Yeah, let's go in order. Overall, thoughts real quick.
I didn't watch it at the time. I woke up in the morning, watched it. So a lot of complaints were how long it was. We're talking where they were, the time zone, Sunday, starting late. Tony Khan on the press conference was saying, I don't think I'll do like a West Coast thing on a Sunday that late, leading you to believe that he's willing to do it on a Saturday or other days. But he's realizing that hurt his audience. He's going to try and shy away from that. But another thing he mentioned, so I guess we're going all the way to the end. I said, let's go in order. But at the scrum was that his contracts, like he's contracted to do averagely 3 hours and 45 minutes. He mentioned that. He's like, that's why. Like I'm in trouble if we go too short. This is the average. So we're looking, there's never been an AEW pay-per-view that's been less than 3.5 hours, and we do go close to 4. But our goal on the paper is 3:45. And then like somebody online, when I was looking online, somebody online was like, yeah, but those are negotiated. Like he negotiated that. He's saying we'll do these. So he's committed to it, but he's also the one who could have said, no, 2:45, not 3:45. But so he's a mark. It's what he does, what he loves, right? But
and how much negotiation power does he really have at the end of the day? He probably has more now than when he negotiated these, but let's be honest about that.
But I think I think if you ask him about it and you're like, so you have more power now, we're going to renegotiate these contracts. I don't think Tony Khan sees that as a problem. He'd be like, yeah, okay, so 3:45 again? You'd be like,
yeah,
oh, sure. I was about to ask he's like, yeah, no, like, do you want to do 4? I'm like, no, 3:45. It's like, I don't think he thinks it's a problem. He only thinks it's a problem when the X marks are like, bro, I can't stay up this late. I got to work. And he's like, all right, sorry,
AEW Full Gear, we're just going to jump straight into the main card, if that's okay with you.
I guess so. I think with Kingston and Hook, they had that match. I'm glad they got rid of that. I think we already talked about the 6-man, how important it is down in Mexico. So I wasn't surprised that they didn't win it with the bleed over there. But hey, dude, like freaking the Rizzler and AJ Boom and all that stuff. Like that's how you warm up a crowd. That was not for you and me. That was not even for YouTube. That was for the people in the crowd to get hyped with a local guy who even lives in Florida now, but he's a New Jersey guy, and they're going to have some fun and Big Show knocking guys out. And that gets the crowd kind of like pushed off. But yes, let's go straight into the main card. If you would like, my friend, you're like, well, you hate these Rizzler guys? You look like the freaking Rizzler. What's the problem?
I have zero opinion on them. I have no opinion on them whatsoever.
Well, your zero opinion is why it's on the 0 hour. I think of this. I think the reason I saw a lot of people shitting on this, and these guys are living their dream right now. In a lot of ways, it's the AJ's always wanted to be a wrestler. And if you're a live crowd guy from Jersey, this is a way to warm up the crowd and to give them some Eddie Kingston and Hook. There are more guys that you love. This whole 0 hour thing, the pre-show thing, that was for that local crowd to get them going.
Yeah. Great points. Pac, Darby Allin. Let's get started with this match. Darby Allin. What a guy. What?
Yeah, man.
Won't he do to entertain us?
Dude, I like the whole intro where he's like watching footage of Pac kicking his ass. He's like, yeah, he's getting all hyped. He's like, right? But yeah, man, we all worry about him. But somehow he's going to outlive us all. Like, is he going to be George Burns or is he going to be a tragic case? We all see the tragic case coming. But like, watch him flip the script on all of us. I'm going to be on my deathbed while he's like living the life as a TV host for like some network. And he'd be like, and here comes Darby Allin. And he'd be like, hey, and he's like long done wrestling. And he's just like a celebrity, like halfway to Rock Dwayne Johnson levels, you know?
It's like George Burns and smoking the cigars, right?
That's what I was saying. That's why I started. I was like, he's gonna live forever, right? He's like, there's some people I know that are genuinely evil, and I feel like they have a low resting heart rate. They do not like their body doesn't get washed in like cortisol and like stress hormones when something happens where they're like, oh shit, and they freak out. They don't freak out because they don't give a shit about anybody but themselves. So they don't stress out. So unless they die of some sort of like malignant cancer that grows because of their evil aura, they're basically going to live forever. They sure ain't going to have a heart attack. That's for sure. I think Darby Allin's like that, but in reverse. Like he doesn't sweat shit. He's been so at the bottom of, he's been the goo on the bottom of the shoe of life that's been scraped off onto the curb and then curb stomped. Right, like, and now he's on top of the mountain, literally. And I don't think he sweats anything, man. I think he's lived life by his rules and has worked out. Very much like Adam Page telling the vets that he doesn't need their opinion. He's like, I'm the champ and I do well. I don't need your advice. You know, I'm not that I think it's healthy, but I think Darby Allin's like, sorry, it's worked out.
This is me. What I liked about this match the most is Darby Allin being Darby Allin and Pac kind of showing his new, more aggression, more of his new style. Right, he's changed his style a little bit.
Like, is he the guy you pick for the new leader if this happens of the Death Riders?
I don't know. That's a great question.
It's about time, man. I mean, he's been on the roster forever. He's had his travel issues. He's had his injury issues. It's about time for Pac to say, I've got a couple years left. I can try and stay healthy. I'm going to try not flip around too much. And I'm going to show people why I'm one of the best wrestlers in the world, because I'm strong, I'm dedicated, I have great footwork, I have amazing timing, I'm creative, I'm like, I can base for people, I can fly, I can do it all, and now's the time to secure that legend, because he's the guy, you know, one more injury and one more 8 months off, and then like, this is the kind of thing where he becomes a tragic case, where you're like, yeah, man, what could have been? You know, he eventually retires and he never had like a run, you know? So, he could do it. I think so.
Yeah, Pac wins this match with Sting's bat. There we go. Next match, Toni Storm and Mina Shirakawa versus Marina Shafir and Megan Bayne versus Harley Cameron and Willow Nightingale versus Julia Hart and Sky Blue. The winner has the right to pick the stipulation of their AEW Women's Tag Team Title Tournament semifinal matches. It's a lot of words.
Yeah. Like one of the most, this is like the Tony Khan booking. Like this is the kind of thing where other promoters, like you go, like who does this kind of stuff? Tony Khan does.
Tony Khan does.
This is the match where I might have told you this one probably could have been not on the pay-per-view, saved us all some time. But I enjoyed this match. That's why I was saying I'm putting everybody over. This is a match where I wanted to be like, oh, this is boring, this is crap. But it wasn't. I was entertained. I was sports entertained, maybe not as much as I could have been. But Mina Shirakawa and Toni Storm are just great. It's all good
intro,
stuff.
That fucking intro kills me. In a great way.
And you know, it was fun. I can't remember whether I thought it was too long or anything, but what I think is weird is, first of all, people are saying, do you need to be able to make a stipulation in a tournament? You know, something like, why is this? Why is that? It doesn't matter. It happened. It's Tony Khan. He's doing it. The faces, I would have thought maybe the heels would have gotten the option, like that's traditional, but the faces.
Change rules. Not everything needs to be traditional. You know, it's one of those things like, you know, leading into go-home shows. If the challenger beats up the champion, just let the challenger win at the pay-per-view as well. Like, let's change the rules.
Like, I haven't been the promotion that I'm involved with. I haven't been the booker for a period of time. And there was, at first there was like, you know, hey, this is what I think. Hey, this is what I think. Okay, well, you know, that's a good idea. But I wasn't the final say. I've kind of like washed my hands of it, and I enjoy washing my hands of it. And so when it comes to, and so I get more enjoyment out of it. The AEW does that to me now. I just wash my hands of it in a lot of ways. I'm like, hey, okay, I don't know about the why, but let's try and enjoy it. And this was enjoyable.
Honestly.
And like, what kind of match do you think they're going to pick?
I have no idea. Honestly, I have no idea. I can't even begin to think. It could be something like a street fight, but it'll be gimmick for Tony Storm. It's going to be a very Tony Storm movie-like gimmick.
I guess so. More street fights. What did a Taipei death match? They listed a few. Like, man, don't basically like don't give Tony Trom his wet dream. You know, like they're mentioning it casually. He's like, so are we gonna do? Well, I was kind of joking, Tony. He's like, well, I was thinking about it last night, and I thought maybe he'll start throwing spots at them, and they're like, oh, okay, Taipei death match. You know, but no street fight. Last thing we need is another street fight. Just don't. Whatever you do, don't book it right after another street fight. That was the only issue. If I'm gonna be negative about this show.
Just make it a Hollywood backlot brawl. Haven't seen one since 1996.
But a fun match. And I can use more Mina Shirakawa on my screen. For a while, I used to think she was that one when I was she comes out and she's like, I don't know, when she comes out solo. That one time when she lost the title to Monet, and I was saying like it's almost like she knew like wrestlers they act a little bit different if they're gonna win or they're gonna lose. Sometimes if you notice, it's
100%.
Really weird. and like she was giving her with her intro dance, and I was like, oh, she's losing.
Yep. It's like LA Knight when he lost his US. It's like LA Knight once. He was losing his championship, and you could just fucking tell he was like not in the mood to even be there. Like you can tell that he was going to lose that match. All right, that's that. Next match, probably my match of the night. I really enjoyed this, and it was for the AEW tag team titles. Brody King and Bandito versus FTR's Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler. This match, man, honestly. Like,
yeah, amazing. Off the hook. My only negative would be a little bit too much falsies at the end. Like they went a little too hard with that. But man, like Bandito, I'll give my lists of wrestlers of the year. Takeshita, Bandito's still like up there. And I don't think he's going to be in a lot of people's lists because a lot of people see him as like a spot monkey, but I think there's a lot more there with the family and with the strength and the comebacks. Like, dude, this guy is amazing. Like, he's so
Except
good
for his
at
finisher.
the matches he's putting on.
I don't like his finisher. I don't like the 21
dude,
plex.
The 21
That's
plex
one thing
awful. I only have like 5 things written on this piece of paper. One of them is 21 plex. What's the word? Boo. 21 plex dash boo. I have written here and I'm just like, boo, 21 plex. But everything else, awesome.
This match was great. If you haven't watched it, go back, watch it. Awesome match. A little surprised by the ending. So I'm really curious to see where they're going to go with this. FTR, new tag team champions.
You're surprised?
I was surprised a little bit. I don't know why.
Okay, first of all, when it comes to mishmash tag teams, like I can't think of one other than perhaps Adam Cole and MJF that has gotten people over more. But those guys were already over, and the unfortunate... Adam Cole's unfortunate situation. But man, Brody King and Bandito, who could have benefited more? This has done a ton for both of these guys. And the reason FTR's winning is because you need to have Christian and Cope come back and do the title thingy. Like probably a Revolution. When's the next Toronto show? These guys are so predictable. Like that's got to happen, right? He already missed out on the Hardys by just a hair. Like they had the match booked and everything. You know what I mean? And he doesn't want to miss another one. He's not going to get the Dudleys. He's not going to get the Hardys, but he's going to goddamn get ENC, that title on ENC. The same way he was going to goddamn get his title on Daniel Bryan for 2 months before you retire. Okay? I want my title on you. They should have done that way back, like when just before Regal arrived. Like that's when Daniel Bryan was his hottest, when he was like kicking people's heads in, and he was like a face, but like kind of wasn't like he didn't give a shit. He's a face because we loved him and because he's Daniel Bryan, but he was like, and he wasn't like the kind of when you're in WWE when you're a heel, you turn heel. I'm wearing like overalls with the freaking Wyatt family, or I'm like the World Warrior peace guy with my freaking belt made out of hemp or whatever.
That one was the best.
You're like fucking here you go. I'm a freaking heel.
No.
See it? That was the best. It was the best. It was too short. That was the best. It was the best. But like in AEW, he doesn't have to put on a character of a heel. He just has to be Daniel Bryan, who's fucking gonna kick the shit out of you. And I'm you know what? I'm not being so nice right now. I mean, like it was great. Anyways, that's when they should have put it on him. What were we talking about? Yes, they got to put it on Cope. That's what's gonna happen. I'm telling you, man.
Casino Gauntlet match for the AEW National Championship. Ricochet wins.
This match entertained me in ways. I saw a few people like shitting on it online, and I'm just like, yeah, sure. There was no surprises. There was no comebacks. No this and that, bro. this match is like living in my head right now. I adored this match. Okay, this is the match where I actually wrote some stuff down. Like they freaking,
oh my
the two of them starting.
Hold on. Hutch writing notes. Hutch prepared. Holy shit!
Only because like I've thought about it a few times, and I'm like, I would hate to talk about this and be like, oh, I forgot to mention this one thing that I liked. But anyways, they started off. Watch me not even like look at them and just talk, bro. Okay, starting off. Okay, first of all, you could say one of them just pin each other and they did their little wrestling thing. I don't even want to talk about the minutia of this. All I care about is Ricochet coming out, and of course, when his music hit, I'm like, of course it's Ricochet. Like it almost seems like can't they get away from this guy? Like you know that it's not random draw or anything. Like here comes Ricochet, and then from that moment on, it was the greatest thing ever. Like as soon as he opened his mouth, like this guy, the greatest jump. Sure, Moxley's done great since the jump. I guess Christian had his best character ever, but did he really jump? Like wasn't he wasn't really with WWE. He kind of came back for the Rumble, like was like he was out for a while. Like whatever. I don't consider that a jump. The wisest, bestest jump ever. WWE's been letting go some of the evolved guys like Jack Cartwheel, a few other guys, and like they say to them, you're missing something. Go find something else. Go get a little more character. Go do your thing. We'll talk to you next year, which I found surprising for a few names they've released. Like this is Ricochet doing that on his own. It's like he knew he had it inside him. It's like Rick Martel saying, "I'm going to quit if you don't let me go heel," and then came out with the model. And Vince is like, "Wow, you proved me wrong, man." Ricochet's the greatest shit ever, and trolling everybody on the internet, like so good. Okay, and like. Hey AJ, boom! Hey AJ, boom! Like with the freaking on MVP outside, the Death Riders doing the train in the corner, and then Ricochet out of nowhere like wham, and it's like, "What's up, boys?"
High five,
dude!
I like that.
The most entertaining wrestler out there right now. Like, and then he won the match. My girlfriend thought something was wrong. I just started laughing maniacally, like I'm like an evil supervillain. I was in the kitchen and I just started going like, yeah. Like it was awesome. Great.
You know what I think it is with Ricochet? I think it's the pressure might be off and he's just having fun. And you can tell that he's having fun out there. Whatever it is, continue doing it because you're making Hutch sports entertain. Not only are you making Hutch sports entertain, you're making him watch wrestling, making him take notes, having him prepared for shows. Ricochet, whatever you're doing, keep doing it.
Wow, that's like that was basically all I had. But I do it wasn't just Ricochet though. I don't think I mean, dude, I'm stream of consciousness. I think I do okay. I might it's me afterwards where I listen back and I'm like, I don't think that anymore. Or I forgot to mention this. I think my t-shirt should be something like one time where I was all like, I'll listen back and I'll hate everything I said. Every week I have to do the podcast where I'm like, all right, the podcast ended on Monday. Now it's Thursday. Let's shit on everything I thought 4 days ago, whatever. But the rest of this, okay, Mark Davis. When Mark Davis came out, it was like a wah wah kind of like think of like a shitty entrance in the Rumble. Like it's Bull Buchanan, or it's Luther Reigns, and you're like, all right, here comes Mark Davis. Like what a sad kid, poor guy. And then like is it over? Is it over for Mark Davis? No, in fact, he is now. It's not over. He's over. Like. Holy shit, he came in and started doing all this Mark Davis stuff where he flips guys around and like pile drives them everywhere and like. They need to put him with somebody. They need to give him a tag team again. They need to give him
not Kyle O'Reilly.
Not Kyle. No, yeah, not Kyle Fletcher. You mean?
Yeah,
I'm assuming that's what you meant. But they. Yeah, I want to say like
I'm staring at Kyle O'Reilly's name. That's my brain did a weird thing.
It's all too many Kyle. We got a lot of Kyles coming up here, baby. Kyle. Same matches, same names, same everything. But like I don't know, Brian Cage. I like Lance Archer.
No, he's injured. Part of
the what?
He's injured again.
Yeah, still, is he even around? Like, who knows? Nobody really wants to see
he's
Brian
injured
Cage
again.
for some reason. I don't know what happened, Brian.
I'm telling you, he's injured again. But he's great.
Injured again?
He's a good guy. Yeah. No, Wardlow's injured again. Wardlow's injured again.
Yeah, Wardlow's injured again. I think Brian Cage is just sitting at home. I don't know what's going on with him. Lance Archer, but he's doing the tag league right now. Monster Sauce with Alex Zane, who's now back, and I think he'll probably get an AEW run at some point, I would assume. Anyways,
I'm surprised he
hasn't. Not to get off
hasn't.
subject. They need to give him somebody. They need to take somebody from the Callis family, put it with him, like give him Klon or whatever when he gets better. Freaking Klon. I don't know, but Mark Davis, I want to see more of him because like the dude is awesome. I've always loved these guys as the tag team. And then another guy who's like one of my absolute favorites, 2.0, 3.0, call him whatever you want.
Matt Menard?
Fucking Matt Menard, Daddy Magic. Like, I understand the storyline, and I love, like, of course, like, oh, no, what did you expect? What did you expect? Except, what's the guy, Kenny Omega's friend with the baby oil? Like, Matt Menard had so much baby oil on him. Like, was he hanging out with, oh my God, it's on the tip of my tongue, the guy's goddamn name. You know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Freaking, he was so covered in baby oil, he couldn't function. He couldn't get in the ring. He couldn't throw punches. Couldn't get out of the ring. Couldn't get over the barrier. At first, I thought, is he drunk? Is he out of practice? Like, what's going on? He's always had a little bit of a short, stocky body. He's always tiny. You know, if you watch the way he wrestles, I thought he was drunk or something. But I realized he had just had so much baby oil on, and I guess it's been so long since he's had a match. He was sliding everywhere. He's like slid across the barrier trying to get over it. He could barely function as a wrestler. It was insane. Go back and watch it. He looks like he's retarded or something. It's screwed up, but it's all the baby oil. He can't grab stuff, and his hands just keep slipping on everything. He must have done it right before he came out or something.
I always not forget, but it's someone who I wish I could see more of is Kevin Knight. He's so freaking good.
Yeah, and I mean, we got to see him in this match, right? Like, a lot. And Speedball coming out, I like how they split them up. They didn't have them come out so close. Because the Death Rider, how many times did we hear the Death Riders music? But even, like, more great Ricochet stuff. Like, Ricochet comes in, starts getting battered by the two guys. Well, no, he had his boys come in and beat them down, right? So then his boys disappear, and he said, but then when the Death Riders came out, Claudio looked like a beast, beating him up. And then as soon as he gets an advantage, the music hits again. It's another Death Rider, and Ricochet's just like, man, come on, man. He's just like, I got these two great big dudes I got to start with. Now another Death Rider. Like, Ricochet was the absolute star of this match. And then winning. And now going to ROH to defend the title. First time an AEW title's been on an ROH pay-per-view. Reversal, right? And the look of the title. What do you think of the look of the title? The whole national title thing. You have an opinion on any of this?
Not really. Outside of it looks good enough. It looks good.
Supposedly Billy Corgan and him have talked. And Tony Khan. They've Corgan's not that upset about it. He understands. You're trying to pay him. Like, they don't care. He doesn't care. Yeah, they're rich, exactly. Right? It's the same thing.
Crazy.
They all
concept.
get the Ricochet attitude. They're like, I'm rich now. I don't give a fuck. Do what you want.
The internet making a bigger deal of stuff.
Man, I gotta stop swearing only because not that I care, but I might have to go in and like beat them out, which means I gotta listen to all this shit. God damn it.
Sorry.
That's when I end up making a second podcast later where I'm like, oh, I disagree with all my opinions. I got to do another podcast while bleeping out my swear words. All right.
No holds barred match. Jon Moxley, Kyle O'Reilly. The story, the seeds are planted. Jon Moxley has limited days probably with the Death Riders. Taps out again. This match is okay.
This match was okay.
I like the story. I like the storytelling more than the match itself. Which means I like the match. You know what I mean?
Well, dude, he stabbed him in the nipple with a fork. So, I mean, this match was definitely made, that
also happened to me this weekend.
They knew what I like. So they gave it to me. Right. I don't know. Lots of blood. Jeez. It would have meant more if it wasn't right into the Fletcher match. So another Kyle and another match. They were basically like the same thing. And then with the main event, this is where it started to become a little too blood heavy. Like, I wanted Samoa Joe to matter because he sure as hell looked, he looked tired. He was like spitting blood. You see that? He was like Samoa Joe, like spitting out blood like tobacco at the end of the match there. So like, there's a lot of blood on right now. What was that? We're talking about Moxley? Sorry, I'm talking about blood right now. That's what I'm doing. Okay. You got a problem? This is mid. This is Monday.
I got problems. This is a very mid show.
This is oh, really?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm joking. Look. No. All joking aside, because that was a joke. Yeah, that was my one complaint. I'm looking through my notes right now. It was very blood heavy. I wish they spaced out the matches a little more, but at the same time, I understand why they didn't. But having this match and then the Briscoe Fletcher match right after, I was tired.
Like, this could have took, we didn't really talk about Pac's like stipulation, right? Saying, hey, Darby, you can't beat me in a wrestling match. And then having to cheat at the end of the bat or whatever. Yeah, anyways, this match might have benefited from something like that. Because they've already had, they just had blood and guts together. I think he was probably bleeding in the first match where he tapped out to him. I don't know. Kyle O'Reilly wanted to show what he can do, needs to do this kind of stuff. This was great, and all around great for Kyle, other than the fact that he's injured and he's not in the Continental Classic and probably won't. He's not going to the main event. So this was all for John Moxley. Maybe Moxley was like, I pick Kyle, because I can have good stuff with Kyle. I need a mid-carder to bring me down a notch so that this storyline can happen where I get kicked out. So I like that Kyle got this match in this style. But it is a match that could have benefited from, hey, Mr. Moxley, hey, Mr. Death Rider, hey, whatever, I've already made you tap. We've already beat you in the steel cage covered in blood. You want me again? Really? I bet you can't. Submission only. Pull what they did on with Bret Hart and Stone Cold, and I'm not a submission guy. You're like, exactly, right? But unfortunately, instead of the double turn of the greatest match of all time, you just get Moxley losing again because Kyle's like, I told you so. Might have taken a bit of edge off the match, but it could have benefited from something different, only to give some more levity to Fletcher and Briscoe, which was a decent match as well.
My question to you, you kind of brought it up a little bit. Kyle O'Reilly making John Moxley tap twice in the span of however many days, 10 days or so. Is Kyle O'Reilly the right person for this rub?
Well, like I had just said, like if they're like, I need to lose to somebody lower than me regularly. I need to have the Death Riders lose faith in me. It should happen by tap out, so I look weak. Kyle O'Reilly is a good pick, right?
Right.
Like if you're looking at all those guys on a sheet of paper, Kyle's come back from a lot of adversity. Could probably, he's ready, he's healthy, he's gung ho. Moxley has chemistry with him. You got to think like the backstage people. You're like, if they're trying to figure out a storyline, often you come up with a character. I'll be like, hey, I got this great character. I got an idea for mask. I got an idea for a thing. And that's okay. Who are we going to put it on? You know what? Forget it. Because there's nobody. Kyle was the guy for this role. Who would you have picked? If this is just going to be a part in the movie and not advancing Kyle's career or doing anything with Kyle, like we need somebody to fill this role, who would you have picked?
Roderick Strong.
Roderick Strong, but you know what a huge Roddy mark I am. I don't know if you just said that to screw with me. So yes, and
no,
the connection.
I said it because they've the Marina factor.
Marina Shafir.
There was like 2 stories happening there.
I think the fact that they've now been interacting with the Death Riders and they have made no mention of it on commentary, at least not that I recall, not really, and they are not having them interact in any fashion, no looks, back and forth, nothing. I think they have decided. You got to think backstage again, right? Real life trumps wrestling every moment of every day. So they've said, "Hey Tony, we don't want to do anything. Like we don't, or else they would have. Come on." So the fact that they have purposely had absolutely no interaction whatsoever at all means that's probably of their choice, which is why that was not chosen. Because Roddy would have done a great job. I love Roddy. He needs something. Put a national title on him. Put every title on him. Okay, let's not talk about it. I'll go into Mark mode. But he's not a submission wrestler. He could have broke Moxley. Could have back broke the shit out of him until he was like dead on. But having Moxley tap was what it was all about. Pac wins his match, and Moxley, who's such a tough guy, never give up, I'm invincible. He tapped out 3 freaking times, man. So Kyle O'Reilly is still a good pick.
ENT championship match. Mark Briscoe.
Oh, are we just moving on? Okay.
No DQ, no countout match.
You've
been saying for weeks. You've been saying for weeks. Briscoe needs something. Briscoe needs something. I think this was the right call.
And you gotta get it off of Kyle if you want to have him go into the Continental Classic clean, ready to get mad at the Proto Kata, Proto Shida not happening and being involved in the whole Don Callis thing. We're gonna talk about this a little bit later, but we'll figure out whether or not there's any more Don Callis people in the. I think it's just the 3 of them. If I'm looking over here at the list, I think it's just the 3 of them. So that's going to be the big thing for the family. Maybe he'll go forward, but yeah, it was a decent match. I guess the froggy bow through the table, all this stuff. Can you even remember all the spots? Just blood and tax and insanity. And yeah, like which one of these matches is going to go on Dynamite instead? There's somewhere in this card you have to say, hey, this could have not been on this card. Was it Moxley and Kyle Fletcher? Like maybe, because this is a storyline you want to push over, and you get more eyes on the TV than you do on the pay-per-views, really. And they could have probably done that match on TV, and that because it's really just storyline driven, right? It wasn't for a title, it wasn't for any other reason. It was just to forward this story, I believe. So they could have done it on Dynamite. That could have been the match to cut, and then this would have been your like bloodbath before the bloodbath.
Yeah.
As opposed to the bloodbath before the bloodbath
okay.
before the bloodbath.
Exactly.
All right, go on. I know I
right.
talk a lot. Sorry.
No, there's nothing wrong with that. You actually answered some of the questions I was going to bring up. So fantastic, because something I was going to bring up was I've seen some online chatter where they thought that Briscoe would kind of, put over Kyle Fletcher in hardcore matches, kind of give him that tough guy badge, the same way that Mick Foley did with Triple H and Randy Orton with all those hardcore matches. But like you said, at the end of the day, you got to get the title off Kyle.
Yeah, but remember, like he's this guy's an Aussie. Like he's proven that he's tough. I got to admit, I hate the screwdriver spots. I've hated it ever since the first time Callis pulled it out, and Callis of all people. There's something like he now has everything he's ever wanted, but I hit my mic. But he's so bad at it in some ways. I don't know. Like he's great, but he's not. Like the screwdriver is way too much. And like, give me a break. Everybody knows you're not going to hit the move when it's sticking out through the goddamn thing. And that's why that's dumb. If you can pretend to kill someone all you want, I guess, as long as there's a possibility it might happen. Does that make sense? I don't know. But like everybody knows you're not going to goddamn freaking brainbuster this guy on this freaking thing.
Chekhov's gun. It's Chekhov's gun, right?
Yes.
Don't bring it out if you're not going to use it.
Exactly. Like pretty much, and these stab to the heads, like, all right, you want to go Kevin Sullivan? You want to go the golden spike? Give him a single freaking spike. Give him, okay, ready? Bam. This whole like, and they're like, oh, come on, guys. And then you win with like a roll up or some shit. Like this is where Jim Cornette freaks out. He's like, and he beat him with a damn small package, Anyways, I love these guys. I love Fletcher. I hope the future is it's an oyster, man. Take it. And Briscoe, I've always wanted this. Even when I wanted to bring him in to Demand Lucha so badly. And I was like, bro, we should bring him in for like a 3-show run. We should put the belt on him. Imagine him in the main event. And, our champ, Mark Briscoe. And like, hey, awesome. Briscoe coming in as a singles match. Put our belt on him. That would be great for like 3-4 months. It didn't happen, but I was pushing for that. Like, I think in like 2017, 26, somewhere around there, like hard. And I love this.
$1 million purse. Kenny Omega and Jurassic Express, Jack Perry and Luchasaurus versus Josh Alexander and the Young Bucks, Matt Jackson and Nick Jackson.
All right, can I change my mind? This maybe could have been the match that could have gone on Dynamite. Honestly. Like, really. It's probably, I don't know if you want to have $1 million match on Dynamite. It seems like a pay-per-view kind of thing. At least they didn't hump the bag of money like Juice Robinson. There's another match we didn't talk about on the pre-show, right? He's humping 20 grand, and the Bucks are dropping $750,000 or $2/3 of $1 million on the stage. And online everybody's like, "Why did you take the money to the ring?" Because it's wrestling. Duh. That's why. Normal people would, of course. Like, they'd be super kicking people while still hugging the goddamn money in real life.
I would
but it's
not
pro
let
wrestling.
that
They
thing
need to
go.
drop it, and Callis needs to steal their money. That's why. But yeah, like, decent match all around. There's the angel and the devil, right? I have a little devil here who's going like, Kenny Omega's washed. And then my angel's like, he's doing great. That was amazing. Have you seen some of his matches lately? He's washed. And I'm like, okay, guys. And they're like getting in a fight here, but I had fun. With this. Josh Alexander, it's good to see him doing something like tangible. I don't know what to say about this. It's furthering the storyline, right? The elite are back.
The elite's
Is
back.
Luchasaurus going to be in the elite now? Like, that's the weirdest 5 years ago prediction ever. Like, who's going to be in the elite years from now? And you're going to be like, well, it's going to be Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, Luchasaurus. Really?
Someone's got to replace Cody.
Yeah, I guess so. There you go.
AEW Women's Championship match. Chris Statlander, Mercedes Moné. I like this match. Chris Statlander, honestly, continues to prove how good she is. You kind of forget sometimes because of her injuries, and when she comes back, she's obviously a little rusty, blah, 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 blah. But this is a match where it's like, yes, she is fucking great. This match was so much fun. Mercedes Moné continues to impress pay-per-view after pay-per-view after pay-per-view. This was really good.
Yeah, like hearing her on commentary on the matches recently, she doesn't have the gravitas of a champion, of a heel. She's not really being a heel, but she's has that confidence of a grizzled warrior.
Yes,
but her voice is so feminine, and hearing her voice without seeing her face was weird for me. But man, she's a tough gal. Mercedes Moné loves working Chris Statlander. She says Statlander's her spirit animal. She's like, first time she ever wrestled her, right after the interview, she was like, I haven't had chemistry with somebody like this since Bailey. I love Chris. Yeah. And they showed it here. Good match. Was there a couple botches here? I can't remember. I got to admit, I was a little in and out of this match, but I'm really glad how it ended up. I think Mercedes might. Could we all be wrong?
Miscommunications, but nothing horrible. Nothing that we should complain about.
Could we all be wrong? Could Mercedes be setting herself up to start losing the titles? Going back to indies, losing a title here, losing a title there. Could start with the Owen Hart Cup's coming up, right? She could go back into the tournament. I'm going to defend my title this year. Loses in the tournament. There's one championship gone. Next championship gone. Losing. Because if she's ever going to win the AEW Women's Championship, it needs to be a fall from grace and then a recovery where she finally gets it. It can't be beating Statlander here and getting another title at all. That doesn't service really anybody. Not that I'm right about anything in life, but
you're right. I think that's a hell of a story. Fall from grace.
Can't do it. The only two times she's ever lost. Sorry. Yeah. Only two times she's ever lost are these title matches. Go on. So she can't do it.
That's it. Chris Statlander wins.
Bottom.
Boom.
And making her way back up. Right. So she might surprise us all.
Main event for the AEW Championship Steel Cage match. Samoa Joe, Hangman Adam Page.
I like that he won.
Were you shocked that he won? I was shocked that he won, to be 100% honest.
I actually was shocked that he won. But if you recall, I did say I didn't think that Hangman was going to have a long run. I was like, Hangman is better as the oh, my life.
Chasing. He's chasing. He's a chaser.
Yeah, but also the downtrodden, betrayed, heartbroken Hangman,
the grizzled,
angry,
the grizzled cowboy, drinking whiskey on the side because life is
pretty much
kicked him in the balls.
So, and I like how this happens. Just Samoa Joe getting another title run. These are the ops are going to be your new main bad guys if the Death Riders move down? Is this what's going to happen? I don't know. I liked it. A lot of people hate it. Samoa Joe spitting blood at the end. I think everybody was expecting an MJF and not a Swerve. We thought Swerve was going to be gone longer. If I pick it apart, coming down to the ring and beating up the Dojo Boys while everybody else escaped was a little bit much. They could have done something different. I don't need Swerve coming in and kicking a bunch of guys' asses. We all know how jacked he looks and how amazing he is. But that gave them the opportunity to stare of Hangman to come to his aid and stand there together side by side. Mortal enemies now going against Joe.
Now friends.
The big thing is Hook. Hook is the hook in 2025. Changing it all, and I think it's good. This Kingston thing. Here's how I started to think about it. Right, the ops are going to be built up. Samoa Joe's your bad guy. And if John Moxley gets kicked out of the Death Riders and Pac won his match, but I beat Darby, but Darby beat you, and you're so full of shit, they get rid of him. Who's there to pick up the pieces for John Moxley as he makes his way back as a face? Who else has been recently betrayed? Who else is in his inner circle? Who else have we wanted him to tag with for years now?
Good old Eddie Kingston.
Good old Eddie Kingston is there to pick up the pieces.
And fuck Pac. Or fuck Claudio. And fuck everyone. And,
Pretty much, right? And now Eddie's just been betrayed by Hook. And now he's he's sniffing around the main event, getting his ass kicked on Dynamite by Samoa Joe, whatever, by Hook. And then whether Moxley comes to his rescue or whether he gets his ass kicked to the point that they're both beat up backs, whatever. There's your Moxley return angle and getting to the main event and something like that.
I like that. Let's save this one because I have a feeling this is exactly what's going to happen, to be 100% honest.
Perhaps. Yeah. And like where I think another thing that I think might happen, AEW loves to bookend with events. Like 2 years ago at this event, this happened, and like they love to make it at the same event. So Samoa Joe beat MJF at World's End 2 years ago, right?
Yep.
MJF is going to come. I'm not saying this is going to happen. And I'm not even sure if it's good booking, but it could be very AEW booking. MJF comes back at World's End. And I don't know if that whole contract thing where they said you can't cash it in, you need to make your intention clear. And I think that's what made him mad. And then he like forced Hangman to give him the match, even though he didn't have to sign in the contract. Maybe we can all forget about this and it's going to be a cash-in thing. I don't know. But MJF comes in, screws over Samoa Joe, and beats him at the same event that Samoa Joe beat him at. And he goes into 2026 coming back as the champ. And now you've got Swerve and Hangman and everybody like MJF. Now Hangman has to chase MJF and Swerve's there again. Like, who knows what's going on? Or who does MJF want to feud with while Swerve and Hangman are busy now with the Ops or all these other people? Who knows what can happen? AEW does a lot. But those are my two out of left field things. Would be MJF coming back at World's End, surprising everybody, beating Samoa Joe, because you're like, and juxtaposing from 2 years ago. And the Death Riders dropping Moxley and Eddie Kingston and him coming back as a gangbuster tag team from the ashes.
That'd be really good.
I don't know how else you're gonna get Eddie Kingston over, man.
That's the thing.
He's washed. No, he's not. He's washed. Like that's going on for Eddie Kingston with me too, man. We need something.
Yeah,
he needs some backup.
There's a couple people on that roster right now, but right now, like Eddie Kingston is one of them. Even with Moxley, to a certain extent, like how much more does his body have left?
Yeah. Well, I mean, dude, he looks in great shape. He's like Cro-Magnon. He's like Cro-Magnon Superman. Remember I was talking about him against Edge and everybody was all like, some people were shitting on it, but I was like, yo, these guys, they look beastly in the ring together, like with their spiked bats and shit. Like, these are the guys, like sinew and bone, like Viking warrior guys. Like, I kind of dig it.
All right, let us move on to the AEW. Oh, hold on. What am I doing? Boris, come on.
Well, no, you want to move on to Continental Classic? Is that what you're going to talk about?
Yeah, but I just want to say, great show. Thumbs up from me. I'm assuming thumbs up from you.
Yes, very much so.
All right, now we can move on to the Continental Classic, starting on Dynamite, November 26th, a few hours from now. Depends on when you're listening or watching. Might have already started, but let's go through the blue and the gold groups. Let's start with the blue group. We have Orange Cassidy, Claudio Castagnoli, Mascara Dorada, Jon Moxley, Roderick Strong, and Takeshita.
So Dorada's in there to put on a hella matches and lose a lot, I think, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But, get him over. Roddy Strong's going to lose way too much for my liking, but hopefully he gets some big wins over some big guys. There's your Moxley and Roderick Strong match right there, right?
Yep.
So if Marina Shafir is the Death Riders might drop him soon, right? So if it's still Death Rider Moxley and you don't see Marina Shafir, if you don't see Marina Shafir at ringside, then maybe I was right about them. Like, hey, we don't interact. We keep it separate. But if he's not in the Death Riders by that time, then she wouldn't be there. But there we go. You got that match. I'm looking forward to Roddy. Is it going to have Roddy against Orange Cassidy? That'll be weird.
Roddy against Orange Cassidy. Claudio Castagnoli against Jon Moxley.
There we go. That's going to be some fun stuff. The C2 really is good. I love that they released on YouTube the entire C2 in like an almost 4-hour video of just all the matches in order.
Yeah. I love that.
Just recently? I just noticed that while I was looking for
a nice little Christmas present from AEW each and every year.
Oh, really? Is that what happened? Dude, that's great. They should do that stuff with the G1 because when you go on to New Japan World, they don't have it. There's no selection where you can just watch the matches. At least not last time I was subscribed. I dropped it about 2 years ago. But you could still watch the events and watch all the 6-man tags and everything before your 2 or 3 matches. But it'd be nice if they did that, especially on YouTube, like New Japan. Come on, man. Like, are you really like? I hear you guys are hurting in some ways. I don't know, but what is up New Japan's ass with not like releasing stuff on YouTube? Like, I know it's not the most monetarily lucrative thing in the world, but Come on, guys. You got all this English
Japan's very
commentary.
weird about streaming in general and web releases. It's very weird.
It's also
weird
rights.
Stuff.
In Japan, everything's weird with
Yeah,
Sapporo
that's
TV
what I mean.
and all that style. Yeah, like they own it, but they don't own it, and like it's weird.
They
It's always been
own
weird.
they own the content in terms of being the ones who produce it, but they don't own it in terms of distribution.
Like broadcast rights thing. That's why you can get away with so much of Japanese stuff that's now been out. Like the companies that own it, they're all out of business, and now nobody cares, right? Because nobody ever shored up the copyright to one entity that could then be sold off or passed around. But anyways, let's not talk about the minutia of Japanese business, Mr. Inoki.
Gold Group, Okada, Darby Allin, Mike Bailey, Kyle Fletcher, Kevin Knight, and Pac.
So Okada's in the tournament as the Continental Champion. Is he defending his unified title? This is where all of this got weird, right? Do you remember what I was saying before is that they should have this unified title should be unified every year with the tournament. So like at the end of the year, because like they said it's supposed to be another world title. Well, it obviously is not. He's not defending it against anybody. It certainly doesn't seem like a world title. It'd be nice. I mean, he is Okada and he's hard to beat. So I guess he's like a boss level dude. But every year you've got your Owen Hart Cup. Every year you've got your C2. Every year those champions should fight the unified champion and unify their belts with that championship. And like that's why it's the unified championship. So I don't think he should be in here because he is like he's defending it by defending the unified title against whoever wins this year. But you know, I might by the time this is all said and done, I might be wrong. I might be like, hey, this is a great finish. Takeshita against Okada. Will Takeshita still be? Bailey's there to probably take some losses in that.
Yeah. But I'm just saying within the Gold Group itself, some of the matches I'm looking forward to: Okada Bailey, Okada Knight, Okada Pac.
Pac Allen again.
Fletcher Mike Bailey.
Fletcher Pac. Wow, man, this will be nuts.
Yeah,
this will be pretty cool, man. This is like maybe Tony Khan. He's getting his jollies off like this instead of on Twitter now.
But, exactly. But I'm assuming, like you just said, the finals are going to be Takeshita and Okada.
Makes sense. You know, for the most Japanese thing ever, this tournament, give it to these guys. But you never know. They could swerve us in a lot of ways. They might not want to have...
What date is World's End? And there's a reason why I'm asking this. It is December 27th, 2025. Do you put Takeshita in an important match days before Wrestle Kingdom?
Oh, so that's the finals of the Classic.
Yeah, the finals of the Classic take place on World's End, which is December 27th, 2025. January 4th, he has to be in Japan for Wrestle Kingdom for the main event.
Yeah. Damn, imagine him coming in with like the title and that title. It's hard, man. It's hard to figure out. Hopefully they're respecting each other. I don't know. Who's Takeshita taking on at Wrestle Kingdom again? It's not Goto, is it?
Doji.
Oh, that's right. Yoda Tsuji, and Yoda Tsuji's going to have the title as well. So it's like title for title.
It's the unified. This could be, you know what?
I'm having a fucking aneurysm.
Let Takeshita take them all. Give them all the belts.
Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? Man, aren't we all so lucky? Like here we are complaining. Too many titles, too many forbidden doors. What's going on? And like years ago, we would have salivated for this shit. Anybody who's like really younger than us, like in the 90s, would have killed for this shit. God, you know, like even though All Japan was basically like half dead, like the Triple Crown, like when Kojima came in and took the IWGP belt, it was like, yeah, like little things like that. Now we're getting it so much, it's like too many blood matches on a pay-per-view. It's like, oh yeah, what are they gonna, you know? Damn, we would have killed for this, and now it's overkill.
Or the early 2000s when Noah started. Remember how hot Noah was when they started?
And like the run for Kobashi and coming back from the cancer and stuff, like holy shit. But okay, all of the titles, and I've talked about has Tony Khan matured? This Ariel Helwani interview, come on, man. I don't know. Maybe he's just learned to keep it all on his burner account or something. But there was a lot of people shitting on this interview, and like speaking of interviews, man, Johnny Ipro in his Bret Hart interview. Our relationship, I kept like, man, John, what a get. 40K. He's making more than 40K, but that's how much Bret charges for that interview. It's a lot of money, but they're making more than that right away because he's so controversial. You know, I've been wanting to do my Blue podcast with Bret Hart talking about fisting hookers in northern Saskatchewan and his brother accidentally feeding his dad mushrooms and like the bushwhackers stealing disposable cameras from kids and giving them back to them filled with. I mean, I have some stories. Smith Hart lived with me for a little while, so like, I want to talk to Brett about that stuff. But he's ready. He's ready to give it all out. You know, Johnny Ipro's squeaky clean. But Tony Khan's interview, dude, he was like, he put, hey, me and Billy Corgan are cool. Everything's cool there. Oh, the picture of Cody and Starks and Punk with their titles. He was like, hey, I'm very happy for them. I have great relationships with all of them individually and stuff like that. Like, I'm noticing. And there was even more, you know, the counter programming. He's not upset about it. AAA being on the same time as Full Gear. He's like, you know what? It's part and parcel of the beast. Like, he was mad the first time it happened. Very vocal. Like, he's pulling it in.
He has matured. He's also listening to PR people. He knows that the PR after the fact, when he does stuff and freaks out, is worse than just whatever. Water off my back. I think they're learning. Overall, AEW is learning to mind their own business and focus on themselves. And that is the best thing that AEW can continue to do.
Yeah, well, he books for the sickos because he's a sicko. And this tournament is going to be sick. This pay-per-view was sick. Anytime that I want to pull out my promoter hat or my Jim Cornette hat or my JD from NY hat, I can agree with all of their points of view. But in the end run, you know what? If I have a mountain of cotton candy in front of me, I can eat half of it, get sick, and stop. But if you don't give me cotton candy for years, I'm going to really, really want some. So I think I would rather have too much and turn it off than not have it. Because I don't want to watch NWA, and I don't want to go back to the old days of 2010 and there was only WWE. And we're lucky. We're really lucky. This is great. All of this has been great.
My takeaway from this is that I want cotton candy now.
Yeah, I guess so. Man, so much goddamn wrestling. It's guys like me that are suffering. It's guys like me where you find out that the reason the guy who used to always respond to every text and everything is kind of starting to ghost you a bit more. And he's even ghosting his friends who still work for, what the hell? Yeah, he's ghosting me too. And like, what's going on? You find out Chris Hero saying, hey, distance yourself from the indies. Don't, get away from that stuff. And you're like, but you guys don't use these guys on TV. There are ROH guys. Like, and I've been booking them for a while. And like, but you've got guys in AEW who are saying like, you're getting paid, cut these guys off. And WWE spitting out their ID guys back out onto the indie scene saying, go make a character. And now you've got this kid who's back and who's available to you again, but now has like this weird alternate mission where he wants to like experiment with himself on your shows. And like all of this is great for the fan, but it is very bad for indie wrestling. The Defies, the Progresses, the Demand Luchas, the Deadly, it is tough for everybody right now. And like even Dreamwave, all these guys, nobody's really, it's not robust. It's tough, but at least we have a lot of cotton candy. I ain't got no cotton candy. It's expensive to get it imported here to Toronto, but it's out there and there's lots of it, I guess.
Hutch,
what do you want?
Let us know where we can find all your work.
You want more of this, people? At Hutch Henries. Think I'm going to be doing a thing on the 6-man tag team and trios scene of the world. You know, Yo just came out at the very beginning of the tag league, which I'm watching for New Japan, and was like, I love the 6-man titles. I want to be on Wrestle Kingdom. He like had a whole freak out. I've got a little video I can release here on that. And it made me think about the 6-man tag titles and, you know, when the Bang Bang Gang had them and what they could have done and how they can respect it the way that the Mexicans do. So so I guess at Hutch Henries on all of your social media platforms and YouTubes, if you want to check out some more opinions on this, on the 6-man tag title scene and on other things. So yeah, Boris, at Hutch Henries, and follow at Demand Lucha. We just released Mass by Midnight. Mascara Dorada. So we were talking about Mascara Dorada here. Mascarita Dorada, the one, this very character, the first time ever a full-grown luchador has been based off a mini. Usually they base minis, you know, off of, speaking of which, like the John Cena mini, how they had the Stu cameraman. It's the only way that worked, man. That was the cherry on that. But right now on Demand Lucha, you can see Mascarita Dorada against Gringo Loco. Hell of a main event. Just released, I think, 24 hours ago on at Demand Lucha. You want to talk about Stu and Mini John Cena?
We already did. aplusproductions.com. Go to your favorite podcasting app, search for A Plus Wrestling. We'll be back on KPHR next Monday. End of year stuff ballot. It is ready. I just need to put it out there. It's coming out in the next couple days, so watch out for that. We are doing the best and the worst of 2025 with a panel of folks from the A Plus family. That's how we're going to celebrate Christmas and New Year's.
Am I on that panel? Do I get to?
I said family. I said family. I said family.
Not friends. Or not even friends. Quick, yeah. I'm on tier 3. I forgot. Family's tier 1. It's going to take a while for me to get there, bro. That's tough.
You're there. It's going to be fun. We're going to bring back some old voices and whatnot for that. It's going to be a good time. Hutch and I are going to be doing that. Like I mentioned, KPHR on Monday, every Monday, 7 p.m. as we lead into WWE Raw. Real quick, we might as well do this. Survivor Series. Let's talk about the men's War Games match. CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, Usos, Roman Reigns versus The Vision, Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, Logan Paul, Drew McIntyre, and Brock Lesnar.
I think Lesnar's going to come in last. I think they're going to smash I think the good guys are getting smashed. Good guys need to they're all smug. Bad guys need to go over. Good guys need to get smashed. They need to have tension between each other. They need to move forward. We still want to see Punk and Cody, right? Sometime in the future, we want to see. Yeah, there's no upside to them winning and smiling. Did we find out if all 3 of them have veneers? Yay! Like there's no upside to this. Them winning. I mean, I could be wrong, but
I agree. Women's War Games match: Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, Alexa Bliss, Charlotte Flair, and AJ Lee versus Nia Jax, Lash Legend, Asuka, and Kairi Sane, and Becky Lynch.
Are we gonna get a Lash Legend and Nia Jax tag team, and they're gonna be the women's tag champs in the future or something?
Nia Legend?
Yeah, I guess so. Like the natural disasters. Love Lash Legend. I don't know who's gonna win on this. I guess they got to go babies.
I think
because none of these heels will Becky can lose and freak out like Christian and have a freaking tantrum, and all these heels can take a loss, no problem here. And the baby faces, they all want to go over, right? These are all gals who right now who need to be like, we did it. We're Charlotte needs to go over and she made the right choice and yay, and that's where we're at.
Women's match for the Women's World Championship: Nikki Bella versus Stephanie Vaquer.
You know what? Steph just had that little promo recently where she's all like, in her slow English, you don't know who you're messing with. Like, do you know who I am? Like, I'm going to hurt you. Like, sorry. God, I kind of really liked it because it kind of is like, yeah, I'm new. And yeah, I'm pretty. And
you don't know me.
I speak with my broken English, and you're like, do you know who you're messing with? Like, I'm the slums of Mexico. I have kicked the shit out of women. Really? I have made it to the top of WWE in a freaking heartbeat because I am her. You want to talk? You think what's her name over there on SmackDown? She's that bitch. I'm that fucking bitch. She sounds Russian
there you
now.
Go.
Yeah,
I know, right?
You. She's she's got that Kendall Gray energy. You know what I'm saying? She's got it.
John Cena.
So yeah, I want
Dominic Mysterio.
Dominate. I want her to dominate Nikki Bella, really, and just be like, I am the shit. I'm here for a reason.
I think that would be great.
Yeah, put her in the sugar hold.
Intercontinental Championship: John Cena, Dominic Mysterio in San Diego.
I mean, what do you think? I mean, okay, logical booking. Dom cheats to win.
Yeah.
Cena go in.
Back. I don't know.
Yeah, Gunther beating him for the IC title in the end of the tournament. So, I don't know what happens. I see Dom getting the title back. Dom getting the title back. I don't know.
Let's go with that.
I have no idea.
Go with that. There we go. Once again, where can we find your work?
You want me to go through all that shit again? Okay, so 6-man at Hutch Henries on all your social media platforms, at Demand Lucha. Check it out.
There we go. aplusproductions.com. Go to your favorite podcasting app and search for A Plus Wrestling. Also, if you want to be part of the conversation, Facebook.com and search for A Plus Productions. There you go. It's been a week. We'll be back on Monday on KPHR, 7 p.m. Year-end ballots coming out. So much happening. So many things going on here. Hutch, we got a lot to discuss. We got a lot to do. But right now, I need a break.
Oh, okay.
Not from you.
It's a tough gig talking, eh?
It is sometimes. It really is. And I haven't been talking this week because I'm off work. So I'm like barely talking. And I'm loving it.
All right. Well, I love the shirt, buddy. Legion of Doom. Keep it up. Or
always. There we go.
I guess Midcast. This is Midcast. This is EH Productions presents the Midweek Midcast, brought to you by CBC, Hutch Henries Productions, and Boris Aguilar. Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
Later.
Tranquilo.